whatsoever. Um, while Brielle's going, please mute yourself so it's nice and quiet. If you have any questions, type them in the little chat section. Or at the end, if you need to unmute yourself, you're welcome to. But just take notes. Brielle's awesome. And I don't even know how long you've been coaching. I forget. For 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah. And she's lost like 80 pounds. Like she's killing it. Okay. So I'm super excited to hear because I love new ideas about inviting, because inviting is legit the hardest part for, I think, every single person, is knowing how to invite without being weird about it. So
Totally.
you guys have questions? Comment in the chat. Just make sure you're muted. Take notes. And Candace is recording. So Brielle, just kind of do like a short intro about kind of how you started Beachbody, and then go into what you wanted to talk about. Okay?
Okay. I started
Thank
Beachbody.
you for doing this.
Okay. I'm not muted, right? Okay. I started doing Beachbody because I wanted to help people. I had lost 40 pounds on my own, not super healthily, but I had people that were asking me how I did it, and I was trying to help them and kind of do my own thing, and it wasn't working. Nobody was having success. And I'm the kind of girl that I used to block people on Instagram, coaches, because as soon as I'd post a transformation picture, I'd get like 3 or 4 coaches messaging me saying, "You're doing so amazing. Have you ever thought about coaching?" So that'll kind of give you a little perspective into building relationships and not writing people off. I had it right in my profile that I wasn't interested in Shakeology or reps. And I'm, 1-star diamond coach now with a team, and I'm like the inviting queen of Team Inspiration, is what Micah has told me before. So I think probably the thing that like really helped me is right out of the gate, I started inviting. I did all the team training, and I started inviting, and I used the 10X tracker that Micah provided in the Google Drive. I don't even know if it's still there. It's kind of old, but pretty much it was like, this is your power hour, but if you really want to do good, do this power hour. And so I did the 10X power hour, and I got 9 challengers my very first month. And in sending those invites, I wasn't good at talking to people. I word vomited. I didn't know the answer to some of the stuff. I didn't know which programs to suggest to people, but I just asked, and I said, well, let me go find out. And I was just real with people. And I think also I wasn't afraid to invite. I still got that like feeling, but I just hit send anyway. And in doing that, I actually found out that 2 of my friends from Florida told me, oh, I'm actually already a coach. And at first I was kind of embarrassed that I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I should have known that. Like maybe I should have built the relationship more. But then the more I thought about it, I kind of thought, what? No, like they should be embarrassed that they never invited me. I was 100 pounds overweight, struggling with anxiety and depression, in a very bad place emotionally. And they just never invited me. And they like, yeah, we don't, I just enjoy this stuff, but I don't want to really be salesy or like bother my friends to join. I'm like, you don't want to bother your friends to join something that's completely changed your life. That is selfish. And I really, really needed them, both of them. I mean, if I had 2 friends that were like talking to me about what it had done for them, I just can't imagine like what my life would have been like if I would have just started 3 years earlier or 10 years earlier. And so early on, having that experience just like lit my fire to where I thought, I never want a friend to ask me why I didn't invite them. And also, I think that sometimes we look at top coaches and we see they have these like awesome call to action posts, and then they have all these comments underneath saying, yeah, I want more info, I want more info, I want more info. Guys, that just takes time, because I'm actually even to that point now. It's just about numbers. I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I'm consistent with my posts, and I utilize the newest thing Facebook does, and I get a lot of interaction because I'm doing my power hour every day. I'm commenting on different people. I work from a list. So then when you are inviting and you do a call to action, it's not that scary and you have more interaction. But What you don't see is my 10 to 1 behind the scene, and I'll explain that to you. For every 10 invites I send, I get 1 challenger. For every 10 coaching opportunity invites I send, I get 1 coach. For every 10 coach that I add to my business, 1 actually does their crap. It's 10 to 1. And it's pretty, I actually found out like recently from Doug Moss that that's actually pretty standard for the business. I thought I had like kind of made up the whole 10 to 1 thing, but apparently it's like a thing. So you can track how many invites you're sending. The 1 month I hit SE24 and I got all these messages from coaches saying, what are you doing? How are you doing this? I sent out 160 invites behind the scenes in Messenger on Instagram. That's how I was hitting Success Club 24. It is a numbers game, and practice makes perfect. It's not about the message you're sending. It's about building relationships, being real with people. And then if you watch my video from the Team Inspiration page, I talk about how I talk to people after I send the initial invite. But in order to have those conversations, you have to send that invite. And you just need to do it. You just need to make yourself do it. It's not about how many yeses you get, it's how many no's you get. So I've even done this with my team, and you can do this with your team or by yourself. I wrote 100 in a notebook, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 100, and I just wrote "Go for No" on it. And it's a book that I've read, a personal development book called Go for No. And I wasn't focused on Success Club or getting challengers. I was focused on just sending 100 invitations, and I wrote down those people's names. And it works. I got 10 challengers. It works. And then also I had a great list to follow up with. So if you're struggling with, I remember when I first started, at first I kind of thought, I feel weird like adding people to my network and then like commenting on their stuff just to be their friends so that they see my stuff and then so that they join my challenge group. I can see where if you look at it like that, it would be icky and weird. But the thing is, you have to have a testimony of what we're doing, what it's done for people. I've had challengers get off their diabetes medication. I was able to release 82 pounds to go from a size 20 to a size 6. That is completely life-changing. Think about my family dynamic and what that's done for my confidence. And then now, because of that journey, I'm inspiring like thousands of people on Instagram and Facebook, and then helping my team reach their goals. It just, every connect you have is a ripple. It's like dropping a pebble in a, like, think of like you got a body of water and you drop a pebble in. That invite is that pebble, and you don't see the ripples that you create whenever you do that. Even just letting someone know that they're desired and that you see them. One of my best practices I do is I reach out to my likers. So the people that like my stuff, I reach out to them, even just to say, thank you so much. I send them the picture. It's usually on Instagram. I send them the picture that they liked, because we're all like double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap. They don't remember. So I send them the picture, and then I say, thank you so much for liking my post. Were you just showing some love, or are you interested in the coaching opportunity? Or were you just showing some love, or were you interested in my accountability group? And a lot of times they ignore it, but a lot of times they say, oh, just showing some love. I love XYZ. And then I'll continue talking with them. Like, do you have any fitness goals? Or I say, what posts do you really, really like that I do? Or is there something you'd like to see more of? You're adding value just from sending an invitation. And then you're on their radar, and you can add them to a list of people to follow up with and to build a relationship with more. Every time you send an invite, it's just building momentum for your business. So you can't get caught up on how many people say no. Some personal development books I've kind of mentioned, but I want you to actually like read. Go for No and the Go Giver series, because that really helped me to just see the bigger picture of what I'm doing, what we're doing, and that I don't have to feel guilty for inviting someone to my challenge group. Let me see. And if you're worried that they'll think you're just trying to sell them something, especially if you're like following up, I'll say, I don't want to be annoying, or I don't want to be pushy. And they, like, people know I'm real. I'm very real online, and I connect with people enough that we feel like there's some sort of connection, and I usually chat with them beforehand, but I say, I don't want to be annoying and no pressure, but I wanted to invite you because of you're inspiring, or you're uplifting, or you're magnetic, or you have such a positive energy, and I know you'd be a great addition to the group or to our team, and I didn't want you to think that I didn't want you. And I said, so if you're not interested, no worries, but at least you know that you're wanted and I see you. And people, I've had so many good connecting like conversations after that invite, because how many times do you follow somebody and like comment on their stuff or like their stuff and they never connect back? People are really impressed. It's kind of like sending a thank you note, like a virtual thank you note, and it can make people's day. And I also I use Teamsy. That works for me. I've tried tons of different trackers. Teamsy works for me. You can message me if you have more questions about that. It's just a website, but it tells me I can schedule follow-ups. And so if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're like, they were in like a car accident or something, I will write a note to myself to follow up and see like how their neck is in a week. And it's not that I don't care about them. It's that I need a reminder because I'm already thinking about a million other things. So why would it not be okay to remind yourself to follow up with somebody that was interested in your challenge group? So before I do my call to action posts, I do an invite blitz. And so what I do is I invite the people that I already invited, and I tell them, I was thinking about you and I wanted to give you a chance to snag a spot before I post about this and it fills up. Give yourself some credibility. You are not desperate. Okay. And it really helps, because then I'm like, it gives them a deadline, because I say, I want to fill it by this day, so I really want to post it by like tomorrow. Can you let me know? And it also makes them feel valued, and you kept your word and you followed up with them about your group, and you gave them a chance before other people. It's kind of like a sneak peek or a VIP. And I've had a lot of success with that, with follow-ups, because it shows that you remember what you guys talked about, and it's a little more personal than, I never say, hey girl, hey girl. I'm putting together this accountability group. This is the theme. You talked that you wanted to reach your goals before. Are you ready to jump in? That feels more generic, to where the other one, like I tell them why I'm reaching out to them. And not that I'm like trying to fill a group. I talk about why they would be a good challenger, why they would be a good coach in my invites. I want to hear your guys's, what are probably your biggest reservations with sending invites, and what are your biggest hurdles with sending invites? You guys can do it in the chat. Let me see if there's participants chat.
One thing I know that I've heard a lot and felt a lot recently is just that feeling that there's no one to invite, that feeling that I'm not connecting with enough people. I know a lot of my girls have had that struggle. So how do you answer that?
It's hard to know when you've connected enough. That is a hard call to make. But I found that as long as there's been some sort of connection, I've never had someone be turned off to where they unfollow me or unfriend me. Does that make sense? So, and that's kind of why I say, just take it as a compliment that I thought of you and I've been stalking you. Like, I kind of use a little bit of humor with it, and it is a hard call to make, but I've noticed Instagram is faster than Facebook. Facebook, you have to build relationships for longer and have more one-on-one conversations with them. I've had a lot more success with, like how fast Instagram is, if that makes any sense. Because it's a different generation. People are more likely to connect, and they're not as weird about you friending them. And people don't get as many comments on Instagram. And so when you do build relationships and comment on their stuff, they see you. So something I've also started doing to kind of build it faster is comment on something they posted, but in Messenger. Insta stories helps a lot with that because it automatically sends it in a message and you can continue the conversation. So if you guys aren't doing Insta stories at night, you need to be doing Insta stories and Facebook stories, because that's going to really help you build relationships and know, like, okay, when should I send the invite? I think for me, when I start recognizing them and their name, like putting their like name with their face and like recognizing them, or if they come up on my list and I remember who they are or like kind of like little things about them, that's when I'm like, yeah, I think we're ready. We're ready to move to the next step in our relationship, and I can send them the invite. But everything's connected. Like the power hour is crucial. If you're not adding people to your network, you don't have people to build relationships with. If you aren't building relationships with people, it's going to be gross, weird, cold inviting. If you're not inviting, you don't have people to follow up with, and those are how challenge packs are sold, is in the follow-up. Hardly anybody is like, yeah, I want to do this. Send me the link. No, that never happens. You have to invite people like 7 times in order for them to say yes. Is there any other? I'm looking in the chat.
Come
Yeah,
on, girls. I know you all struggle with invites. Now's your chance. Ask a question.
Without feeling desperate. Oh, that is a good one. If I'm feeling desperate, I do not have good conversations, and it just spirals out of control, which is why I try to hit SE10 by the beginning of the month, because then you have this abundance mindset. And also when you're hitting it early, then there isn't that desperation. But I also, one of my affirmation is, I put myself in front of the people that already want to buy my products and services, and so they do. And it's easy to say, it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. But that has made a tremendous business shift for me to this mindset of abundance. I tell people that it's an exclusive group and I'm only inviting this many people. Would I ever turn someone away? No, but they don't need to know that. And also, you can give someone a deadline and say, oh, you missed it, I'll have to keep you in the loop. Like, post professionally, talk about it professionally. Because I also go in thinking just they're going to say no, or that they're going to not do it this round. I think of it more as inviting is just like kind of like a building stone. And eventually they will. So I think that in just thinking, I'm just going to have a conversation with them and ask them lots of questions and to know what to post about and what to follow up with them about, it gets rid of that desperation. And then when they do want to do it, I'm just like pleasantly surprised. And it just feels more comfortable and less rushed. Because I've been there at the end of the month trying to, you're like sending like 100 invites and no one's saying yes, and there's all these reservations, and it's like you feel desperate.
Another thing that Brittany from corporate was telling me like to do pretty much, and she was talking about it with like specifically to invite to coaching. And I mean, we all say like talk to the person you used to be, like try to relate to those people. But I also think that like when we have the confidence in our invites and posts, like, yeah, I used to be there, but I'm a heck of a lot better. I don't miss workouts. I can push past the mental things. It's like, I used to be there, but I'm not anymore. And I can help you do the same. Where if you have that confidence that you legit can help them do that because you've personally overcome that, I think helps a lot in your invites too. And people, like, I don't beg people anymore. It's like, I don't know. I just think that they want to see that you not necessarily are a step above them, but that you've kind of worked through some things and that you can help them type of thing. I don't know. I think that helps.
I think that is a really good mindset. And so I'm looking in the chat and it says, how do you address the invite to the coaching side? I utilize sneak peeks into coaching. That is so easy to invite to. You just say, my team is doing this and I've realized that like nobody knows what I actually do as a coach. You see me working on my fitness, but I don't think anyone actually understands that I make money from this and I have a business. Would it be okay if I add you to the group so you could check it out? Or do you know anyone who would like to earn free trips with their spouse or to get paid to work on their health and fitness. Like, and then sometimes I get referrals for people that they think of. Yeah, I think of it as a gift as well. And that is huge. Like, I am doing them a favor inviting them because I'm a good coach. I have a lot to offer. And the programs are life-changing. So think of it as a gift. How do you handle that person that always messages you for information, always says, I want to, but maybe next time? I seriously don't know why Candace never beat me. Okay, so there's two answers to that. Okay, so there are some people that there's a difference between being broke and being poor. If you have somebody who is broke, it means they're interested in the idea of having a life like yours, but they're not willing to do anything to change their life. Those people are broke, and I bless and release. And that has been years of personal development to come to that, to come to that point, because I was wasting so much time and energy trying to convince people. If they're not ready, they're not ready. But I also did that training where I talk about, you need to figure out why they're not doing it. It's because of self-belief. And you need to get them to be able to admit and to come to realize that they're not doing it because they don't believe that they can do it. And so that's why I ask them tons of questions to get to the root of it. There's a reason that they're overweight. There's a reason they're not reaching their goals, and you need to help them figure that out. And then once they see that Beachbody can be the solution, then they're going to come to the conclusion that they need this in their life, and this is the perfect fit for them. And it always is. It has everything. It's not missing anything. Once the 2B mindset comes out, it literally is not missing anything. Everybody should be doing it, and it can benefit everybody. It is the cheapest and healthiest way to reach your goals. Hands down, there's no contest. I have never seen anything better. And that doesn't even include the community and aspects like that. I just keep inviting too. As long as you can kind of tell the people that just aren't going to better their circumstances or aren't going to actually do it. Sometimes I will give them, I'll give them a free trial, or I will give them just snapshots on my phone of the 21-day fixed meal plan. Because really all they need is the equation, the food approved list, and then the conversion of what the containers mean. And that's kind of an indication of I am giving it to you on a platter. And then I always act like I'm doing them this big favor, even though I totally stole them from Pinterest. But I just say, okay, this is the 21-day fix program. Please do not share this with anybody. Do it for a week and return a report. Get back to me and tell me how you feel. And if they take the initiative and do it, that is a pretty good indication that you need to still be following up with them. If they don't do it, then they're not willing to do what it takes to change their life, at least not yet. So they can do the 14-day trial. They can do Clean Week. Start by talking about the mega pack. Then when you do the combo pack, they're like, oh yeah, I can do that. That sounds a lot better. And then if they still can't do that, then you do the All Access Pass. And then if not that, then say, okay, let's start with Clean Week, $30. And then when they finish Clean Week, you can say, that was a fourth of the cost and it was 1 week. It doesn't make sense to not do it. You know what I mean? So lead with the big, and then it's not as much of a sticker shock when then you're $160 for the All Access Pass. And they're like, oh yeah, let's do that one. Let's see if there's another. Right. So yeah, exactly. If people are broke, there's a difference between being broke and not having the money. If I wanted to do something, I'd make it happen. Either donate plasma or sell stuff on Craigslist. Do some babysitting jobs. You know what I mean? There's always a solution. You will either find a way or you will find an excuse. You guys can unmute yourselves and ask too, so I don't have to keep going back to the chat. Nothing. Did I address
anything? No. Elise, I can tell you're just burning to talk.
That's because we're BFFs.
Jackie, Sarah, Debbie, questions?
I asked my question.
Did I answer it?
Yeah, I don't know why Candace never beat me.
Well, you just have to remember that when you're inviting, like that.
Yeah.
Some people aren't there mentally and emotionally yet, and so that's
I just
why.
get so frustrated. It seems like I've been messaging the same people for 2 years now that say, yeah, I want to, but maybe next time.
Have you called them out on it? Have you given them any tough love?
A couple of times. I usually get unfriended when I do.
Then I would say new people. You need to reach out to different people.
Okay.
Because that's why I have to add way more than 3 to 5 people a day.
Yeah.
And I have to be doing more than just Facebook or Instagram. Like, I have to do both. Because you need to find the people, while they're making up their mind and not being willing to change their lives, you need to find the people who are ready. And I say a prayer before I start my power hour. I say a prayer to find the people that are ready. And I say a prayer to know who I need to invite and how I can add value to people's lives. And that makes a huge difference, because I feel like a lot of times, I've had so many times that I've messaged someone and just been like, hey, just checking in, like, how are you doing? And they were like, this may sound crazy, but like, I really needed you to message me. And I'm like, it's not crazy. I like to know if you needed me today. And I'm like, I don't believe in coincidences. And so then you have like an even bigger connection with that person.
Yeah.
So it's hard, but yeah, I think also talking about their pain points in your posts. I had a ton of people recently that like just wanted to do Beachbody on demand. And it's probably because that's what I show so much. I don't show the food as much as I should. And so that's what they want. They want to do the workouts I'm doing. So then I started posting about it. I did like a mic drop post where I was like, if you just want to do the shakes, then you're just not going to get the results. If you just want to do the workouts, then you're just not going to get the results. Like I just said, you are going to get what you put in, and this is what I'm doing. If you want the results that I share, you have to do this. And it really helped. And I think I got like 3 80-day obsession challengers get the combo pack with the Recover and Shakeology. So I think don't give up on them, because I do have coaches and challengers that it was like 2 years. And I still have people that are watching me still and haven't jumped in. But you have to, I never count on anybody. If somebody says they're going to order, unless I see those success goal points, you better believe I am still sending messages like a crazy woman.
I feel like I don't know, like I get so frustrated with the whole process, just because like, and I think I just have too many gym rats in my newsfeed. I think, or in my friends list, like people that I've approached in the past, and they've been like gung-ho about it and then changed their mind, and 2 weeks later they're posting themselves at the gym and then like going and making nasty comments on my posts about what I'm doing. And I have to delete a lot of comments.
Yeah, you need to probably change your tribe, or like your hashtags, or like people you're talking to or adding to your network. Because at first, I was adding like anybody, but now I will only add people that I think would make a good coach and would fit in with my team. In my ADHD group, I have 12,000 people, and I get about 100 requests to join every day. And I used to go through and like add anybody that would accept my friend request, but you need to bless and release. Just now if I see like they like, I know this is terrible, but like work at Walmart, or they like, I will look at their wall and just see it kind of what the posts they're doing. I will not add them as a friend, because they are not going to be able to bless other people, because their lives are a mess. And so I think I kind of changed my tribe and the people I was connecting with. So now like people aren't like giving me their sob story about why they can't do it. So if they're like gym rats, then like I would change my target. Something's got to change. Like, so what I like to do is I kind of troubleshoot. I think, okay, am I consistently doing all the boxes? Am I checking off all the boxes in the power hour every single day except Sundays? Am I totally nailing my own health and fitness journey? So I look at the vital behaviors. And if I'm on point with the vitals, then I think, okay, something else needs to change then. So what is it I need to do to get the results that I want? And so I look at each category. Okay, when I'm adding people to my network, am I adding the right kind of people? When I'm having my conversations, am I having my conversations the way that I should be? So I kind of like pick it apart only if I'm doing the vital behaviors, because in our minds, we think we're doing more than we actually are. Autumn even talked about it in the ADHD obsession group test group. She said, if you think you're 90% on, if you're 90% on point with nutrition, you're probably about like 80%, maybe even more like 75. And it's the same thing with coaching. I probably think that I am like hustling and I'm like balls to the wall, like Micah likes to say. Probably not. If I actually like look at my Team Z report, how many connects I'm doing, how many people I'm following up with, how many people I'm adding to my network, it's probably a lot less than you actually think. So it could be that you need to 10x it, or it could be you need to just be more intentional with what you're putting your time into. I don't know. It is super frustrating, but that's why PD. And I waited like 6 months to start doing personal development because I was like, I don't need a pep talk, I'm doing my crap. That's like seriously a game changer, because the things that I'm able to say to people in conversations, it's not necessarily that I needed to hear that thing for personal development. Other people needed to hear that thing. So some of the quotes I've shared or some of the things I've said to people, that's been their light bulb moment to where they became ready with their mindset to jump in. Let's see. I think I have more comments.
Hey, Brielle.
Yeah.
It's me. So can you touch on, you said you have an ADHD group. Is that an open Facebook community that you're building and then pulling challengers out of?
Yes. So I don't cross Beachbody with it at all, but it's a funnel for me. So what I do is I'm very active in the group. I do videos, trainings. Everyone in the group knows me. And so then as I'm like seeing people in there, interacting with people, building relationships, I can friend request them. And I have all these like conversations going on about our ADHD kids. And then they'll see my stuff and say, oh, it's so great what you're doing. And I'll say, well, I'd love to have another ADHD mom in the group. You're my tribe. And then we like already have that commonality. Right. That's why like having like that color wheel filled out that Ashley Smith talked about in the National Wake Up Call, like you need to be adding people that you can really connect with.
So did you create that group, or was that already on Facebook?
I created the group, which is awesome because I'm in charge. Okay. It is more work, but I started this summer and it's already at 12,000 people.
What?
Oh, okay. That's why, because I'm considering the same thing. So as far as, and then, being a funnel. So that's a great idea.
Yep, exactly. That's why, like, if you're into like interior design, roll with it. Like, that should be your tribe. You know what I mean? Like, try to think of yourself as like the color wheel, and you have little categories. The parent support group is called ADHD Parent Support. But if you're interested in joining, message me because I'm behind on my ads. And so I'd rather like just add you guys automatically than have you wait through the funnel. Elise.
Right.
Okay. I'm writing it down because ADHD.
Okay,
you don't have a bunch of
just under 4 minutes left. And Elise did have a question in the chat. She wanted to know if you noticed a huge difference when you started using Team Z because she sucks at writing stuff down.
Yes, I got like 3 extra challengers the very first month. It takes a little bit of time to get it set up, but once it's set up, it's really easy to plug your people in. And it made me be more intentional about, I do my power hour, same time of day, a full hour, just done. I have to schedule it in because then I'm not losing people, because I was always losing people when I was trying to just keep track in Messenger or on paper. It's worth a shot. A lot of times they'll do a free trial for a month. All right.
Awesome.
I love doing these. Thank you so much for having me. I'm such a weirdo. I love this.
No, thank you, Brielle. It was awesome.
Thanks.
it's always good for everybody to hear from people, not Candace and I.
Well, and I'm hoping my team will feel the same way. They're going to be
Yes.
like, wow, these girls are great. And you'll be saying the same stuff I tell you all the time.
We do the same thing to Micah all the time. We're like, man, that was awesome. And she's like, dude, I just told you that yesterday.
So true. So true. But no, we appreciate it. And you guys, it's just, I think we all make it so much more complicated. We just need to be people's friend and to invite. Like you said, you don't ever want to be that person that you just didn't invite. So.
Yeah. And you can even say, I'm totally afraid to send you this message
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want you to think X, Y, Z, but I'm doing it because.
Yeah.
Just be real. They'll be flattered.
No, I love that. That's so good. And I mean, like, I don't know who always says it, but somebody's like, don't make the decision for them. Like, don't prejudge somebody. Don't make the decision for them because you never know what somebody's going through in their life. And this literally might be the gateway to change their life on any level. So, yeah.
It's our job to invite people. That's what our job is.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I love it. And every time my business is suffering, it's 100% of the time because I'm not sending as many invites as I should be. Every single time it is. So Candace and I were talking about it this morning, and I'm like, I feel like I don't have anybody to talk to. But if I had just been connecting and inviting this like as much as I always should, I would never have that issue. It's just how it is. So if you're struggling, it's because you're not connecting and inviting. It's just,
and it happens.
It's a numbers game.
We all do it.
Numbers are people, but it's still a numbers game.
Yeah, we all do it. Even 4 or 5 years into this business, we all have times where we struggle. Yeah. You just have to be able to recognize it quicker and fix it.
And just do.
And then it's not going to hurt you as much.
Yep.
Okay, everyone smile. Ready, set, go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. You're taking a picture.
Brielle.
Okay, thanks so much, Brielle. Thanks.
I want the picture then, Kay.
Oh, yes. Bye, guys. Thanks for hopping on.
See you guys.